So what's one piece of advice or a shortcut that you could give somebody in the entrepreneurial world in your field that you've learned in your years that you could give advice to somebody else just starting out?
It's probably two things that I've learned. One is connect with people. People don't realize how much and not just networking events. I mean, being involved in other things like nonprofits, you volunteer, you do certain things, but you connect with people because those connections eventually will take you further than you ever know.
Right.
And so with those connections, the second thing I would say is finding a good mentor. Because when you're in business, it's tough. It's tough. You have those days, especially in the beginning. You have those days where you don't know where to turn for an answer, and Google won't answer that for you. You have to be able to, at some point, pick up the phone and call somebody that's a mentor and just ask them some things and sit down and have a cup of coffee with this person and learn. Because the more you do that, the better you'll be as a small business. Be mindful of how you market and advertise.
Okay.
Because, with a franchise model, they recommend certain things that you should do.
Right.
So, you go in business. For me, it was like, okay, this is what they're saying I have to do to be successful. And I did all those things. It didn't necessarily work.
Right.
When you spending all this money to do
because it's built on relationships.
Yeah.
It's not built on some fake ad.
So we talking. I ran a commercial on Comcast.
Right.
On TV, I did an internet commercial spot. I did direct mail. I did a whole host of things that you won't believe the money I spent. So I learned from that quickly.
Right.
And so the next year, I tapered that back, did different things, and then eventually I had to push away from the desk. I was so involved in the operation that I was hoping and thinking that the marketing and advertising, the way that they had it set up, would work. So I could just sit back and wait for the phone to ring. Doesn't happen that way.
Right.
And then that's when I got out in the community, did more connecting with other like-minded small business people, and that's the way to go for me. The next 3 years, we should definitely have at least another two locations, so a total of 4 locations.
Okay.
And my plan is to kind of work around the Beltway. So Gates is into Montgomery County, Prince George's County, Baltimore County, back to Frederick. So, but in 10 years, like my business plan is flat. It just says 10 locations.
Okay.
So in 10 years, that goal has to be met with 10 locations. That'll put me at about 15 years in business.
Right.
5 years later, I can probably lay back a little more and have my son kind of